Hey, what up? It's Ty 1822. Who is the greater WWE champion of this era? John Cena, the 15-time champion. CM Punk, I think he's a 5-time champion. Now, the only reason why I brought this up right here because I was watching one of my favorite people on here from YouTube, Mr. Griffin. One of my favorite series he's always doing. Ain't this some bullshit? So, he made a video, about, John Cena because WWE, they said that John Cena is the greatest, WWE champion of all time. And he was talking about John Cena is one of the greatest champions of all time, but of course he's not the greatest WWE champion of all time. He did say he believed that CM Punk championship run was more memorable than John Cena. So I'm gonna give y'all my answer, and I want you to know what's your answer. Who is the greater WWE champion of this era? I'm just going by his two picks: John Cena or CM Punk. Now, we all know John Cena, the number one guy in the company. So of course, he had way more title reigns than CM Punk ever did. Now John Cena, look at his title reigns. Now, okay, his first one, good title reign. Him and JBL had awesome feud. He had other stuff going on. I love his first title run. Then it got to points when it was like, okay, he kept winning. Him and Edge had some good stuff. Him and Randy Orton had some good stuff. He was a W champion. He had some good stuff with CM Punk as WWE champion. But if you look at out of all those 15 title reigns, 3 or 4 reigns, which was pretty good. The rest of them was like, he was just, the champion because he was the number one guy and nobody else was able to, run with the ball like John Cena did. So when you look at his title runs, it wasn't that great. He had a couple years when it was very fun to watch. Him and CM Punk had some great stuff going on. But most of John Cena's title runs, it was really nothing exciting. Now, if you look at CM Punk, which I prefer Punk over John Cena any day. I'm a CM Punk fan over a John Cena fan. Now, CM Punk. Now, if you look at his title runs, even as a huge CM Punk fan, I have to admit it, I'm not going to bullshit nobody and act like, CM Punk had great reigns because CM Punk's first title run was horrible. I mean, they didn't know what to do with the guy. He wasn't supposed to win the belt anyway. We all know why he won the belt. Was it over something? It was like an injury over somebody. Yeah, I think Edge. Yeah, Edge. Yeah, injury of Edge. That's what it was. So, they had to do that right there. I'm sure Edge was injured. Now, that run was horrible. I couldn't stand it. I was pissed off when they did with that thing with Orton and all that shit with Legacy. I was pissed off about that right there. His second run, he was the World Heavyweight Champion. You can still consider that. It don't matter, It's just about being a champion, period. He lost to Jeff Hardy. Wasn't champion that long. Him and Jeff Hardy had some great stuff. That's some great stuff. His title run was just too short. His other reign, Undertaker, bullshit because the WWE, they fucked that up right there. Well, actually, CM Punk got himself in trouble also, so that's why he lost that belt to Undertaker. Okay, when he became the WWE champion, defeating John Cena, nothing memorable. Defeated Alberto Del Rio, and that's when his year reign started. Now, when you look back at that yearly reign, what was really memorable about it? I can't really say anything was memorable about CM Punk long year title run. I mean, of course he went against names like The Rock and John Cena, but when you look at that year title run, was it anything special? I say no. So, if you compare John Cena to CM Punk when it came to their championship title runs, I have to go with John Cena because he had a lot more memorable stuff as a champion. Like I said, JBL, when they had like that what was it again? I Quit match. It was just awesome. He had all that blood on his face. Him and Edge had a great series of matches. Him and Triple H at WrestleMania had a great match. So Cena had his memorable championship matches. CM Punk as the champion, what was his best match? Like, you be like, oh, I remember that championship match he had. Now, when he was the challenger at Money in the Bank, that was his best championship match. But as the champion carrying the title, I can't name a memorable CM Punk match as the champion, which I'll say, oh man, that was an awesome match when he was a champion. So, his pick is CM Punk, but John Cena title runs was more memorable than CM Punk. Even though, of course, Cena had more runs, but a lot of Cena runs was nothing. But when he has his good runs are better than CM Punk 1 or 2. You know what? I'm gonna say he had one really good run, CM Punk. Yeah, I say one. Because earlier I didn't really say he had any good ones, so I'm messing up right there. So, but I will say this: CM Punk did had one good run, I should say. That short thing with him and Jeff Hardy. That's it. Yeah, the rest of them aren't so memorable because the WWE just never gave him the opportunity to become, a better world champion like the opportunity that John Cena got. So I'm gonna go with John Cena is the greater WWE champion this era between him and CM Punk. So I want to wish your answers. Who is the greater WWE champion of this era? John Cena or CM Punk? So don't forget, hit the subscribe button. I am out. Peace.